Any conkers out your way?
Conkers are just emerging, teaching the lad about conkers. And there's like this. I didn't take it easy on him.
Oh no, you got to learn.
I mean, he kind of looked at me. There was that moment where he looked at me and went, "Daddy, did you just clatter my knuckles with it?" I was like, "Yeah."
The word away, kid.
That's conkers, son. That is
This is
conkers.
big school.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see. I'm glad to see it's still a thing out our way as well. Even though like we would be technically city folk, horse chestnut trees. Hate to see a kid coming around here.
Don't like I didn't even know they were called horse chestnut trees till I was about 20. Conkers fell out of a tree. That's all I cared about. And then straight home with a drill, and then shoelace through it. And if you were right bad bastard, you'd dip it in varnish.
And there was all sorts of bacon and all this kind of crack going
I was
on.
pumping them with PVC or PVA and everything just to see could I harden the
You were
things.
painting a ball bearing is what you were doing.
Literally, I was painting a ball bearing is what I was trying to do. And if you dipped it in a very light varnish, now you wouldn't want to go mad, like the right teak stuff.
Yes.
You just a little.
Does exactly what it says on the tin.
I got caught a few times now, to be fair. Mine just would not crack. Like, he wouldn't crack this thing with a 14-pound sledge, like, by the time I was done with it. But many a knuckle suffered as a result, but as did my own. I don't put it all down to conquer damage, but at the same time, I would say early onset arthritis will probably come around as a result of it.
How early can it be, Tom, when you stack everything up? It's probably well overdue at this stage. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tom and Jerry Show, by the way. I'm Jerry McBride. That's Tom O'Mahony. Yet
Hello.
again, I nearly forgot my name, Tom. But we're here talking conkers. We'll talk other stuff now in a second, Tom. But I'm going to tell you one thing, Tom, now. Conkers, yes. But there was another game we played up our way, more so than conkers. Was Hardy's. Did you ever play Hardy's?
I don't know. What was Hardy's? Maybe we didn't. I don't know.
A Hardy head was like I don't know what they're called, but it's like a stalk that grows in grass and it's got like a black bulb at the top of it.
We call them horsetails.
A horsetail, right? We call them Hardys. And the same idea was I had to whip your Hardy and see if I could whip the head of it without whipping my own off. Do you get me?
I mean, it sounds phallic in what we're at here, like, but we are still talking about actual grown things you pull up out of the ground, people. Like, you know what I mean? Don't be anybody getting, hey, we're the two boys. What kind of?
So look, hey, it's just what it was, Tom. We just got together and banged our Hardys together.
Exactly, and the idea was that you actually smashed it so hard that you ripped the head off the other guy's Hardy.
Oh, I ripped head and all off it by.
This is taking a nosedive, this podcast early doors. Yeah, we didn't. I think horse whips is what we called it.
That works too. Yes, horse whips as well.
To be fair, I didn't care if I ripped the head off their one. I just went for their hand. I didn't care. I was just violent country lads, just trying to take the hand off each other.
Just untamed.
Oh, that's exactly it. Feral, untamed,
ungovernable,
gnawing on bits of skirting and architrave, and just. To let us actually in with society was, some would say,
was their first mistake, Tom.
We should have been left as an uncontacted Amazonian tribe that we were, where I was. Just leave us. Leave us.
They should have killed us when they had the chance, Tom.
The Sentinel Island of the countryside, of Irish countryside. Just leave them where they are. They're just too violent. Just chucking spears at people and whatever we get our hands on.
Well, speaking of too violent, we've got a hell of a show coming up for you here, folks. And I got to tell you, the threat of violence runs throughout it. For new listeners, how are you all keeping? We are stand-up comedians, currently working and lapsed. But got a gig going. Let me know. What you got?
I got plenty of gigs for you.
What's the war chest like? You know what I'm saying? Like, how close to my house is it?
Yeah.
How early will I be home?
I was going to say it. McBride. If McBride can spend less than $10 worth of diesel on getting there, then you got him.
That's it. You got McBride on the lineup. But listen, we do this podcast every week. We haven't fallen out with each other yet, and we hope you haven't fallen out with us either. Give you a little rundown what we do. We do a couple of segments, and the first one's coming your way right now. It's where we take apart the big news of the week, the brouhaha, Tom, the scuttlebutt, the weekly what have you.
This is a very complicated case, Maud. A lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous, and a lot of strands to keep in my head, man.
This is proper news now, Jer. This is proper news. This isn't us rooting around in our arse pocket or down the back of the sofa for an old bit of news. This is proper news now.
This is the one, Tom.
This has been all over my timeline on every social media platform that I'm on, it it's very exciting, and a tale of the times. And I'm surprised it hasn't happened a lot sooner. But a tale of
I
the times.
it was news to me that it was news. Like I
Yeah,
was like, oh,
yeah,
that
yeah.
wasn't a thing already. But there
Well,
you go. Tell them what it is, Tom.
so Aer Lingus have announced, and just like Post Malone becoming country and Beyonce giving it a go, and every other whore who thinks, well, knows what way the wind is blowing, Aer Lingus have now announced direct flights from Dublin to Nashville, Tennessee,
Nashville,
the home
Tennessee.
of Jelly Roll and whoever whoever else is it. That's the only person I can think of is the
That
big.
was your go-to, Tom. Jelly roll.
It seems to all he seems to do, and every time I see a clip of him, he's going, "Oh, Nashville, Nashville, and if you have a dream, you can be from Nashville too." So that's, I mean, he's along with every other fella that seems to be, but it's a home of the Grand Ole Opry, a home of
Yes.
if you got a
The home of
dream.
country music, you could say.
No, if you got a dream
Now,
in
Tom,
country, that's where you go.
first things first. First
Ah,
things first, brother. Have you ever been to Nashville?
no, and it is on the bucket
It
list.
is on the bucket list, I'll tell you. I've never been to Nashville. The closest I've been, country and western wise, to such an establishment is Gatlinburg in mid-July.
I was, yeah, no, I was, yeah, Gatlinburg in mid-July where there was beer and everything, and what was it?
Kicking and sweating and the blood and the mud and the beer.
And the fighting with your old lad after you found out. Just so that's a great reference. I would love to stand on the corner of Winslow and Arizona too.
Yes, yes,
Do you
yes,
know what I
yes,
mean? Just do
yes.
those moments. For me, that would be better than any leaning against the Tower of Pisa thing. Just stand on a
This kind of
corner.
crack, yeah, yeah.
I would be that nerd to stand on the corner of Winslow, Arizona, or get to Gatlinburg or whatever. But Nashville, I mean, it's a bit twee and whatnot, but at the same time, I was listening to Dermot Kennedy at the minute. He's there
Yes.
just to write an
What is
album.
going on in Nashville? Because I know a couple of people that play music that are in Nashville as we speak, and a couple of other people that have gone over just on their holidays and jolliers to Nashville. So is there something going on? You chat away there, Tom. I'm going to Google what's going on in
I
Nashville right
don't
now.
think there's, it hasn't come up what if there's anything in particular going on. There might be, but what I seem to see is, like, I know where Dermot Kennedy, he was on Theo Vaughan's podcast, and his whole reasoning for being there is that I suppose, collaborating with other artists, but people just never seem to stop doing country music and just doing music in Nashville.
Yeah,
There's
no,
a
the
studio
fun never stops.
where in Dublin now, where there's either a donut joint or a new barber shop, there is a studio to record something in Nashville. Do you know that kind of way? Like,
Yes.
so it's everywhere and anywhere. Like, you can't poke your head around the corner to somebody trying to write a song for you or trying to collaborate with you to do something. It's continuously seems to be like the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Honestly, I'm looking at it here, and it's I just looked up Nashville festivals, and there are several happening right now. Like, you know, not necessarily the once one and done Lisdoon Varna month-long festival. It's just like, hey, here we go. It's this is happening.
Which that's pure America, isn't it? Like they would milk it to death. I guarantee it's all year round. Do you know the kind of way? Oh, welcome to the Boots and Stirrups Festival for 3 days.
Yeah, yeah,
At
yeah. And next week it's the Saddle Festival. We'll work our way from one end of the horse to the next.
yeah, that's exactly it. Like, and none of them would know
Yeah,
a
I'm
horse
wasting
if
my
he got
time
kicked.
googling this.
And there seems to be like I said, it's a bit on the twee side in some ways. And there's a great movie, and I cannot for the life of me remember it. I think she's a Scottish actress, and she often plays an American, but she does. I could be wrong, could be the other way around, but she does an unbelievably good Scottish accent, and she's a cleaner, but she's a fantastic country singer, and she makes her way to Nashville, and it doesn't
Oh,
pan out.
is that lady Kelly? She was in Trainspotting.
Yes, that's her. That's
Okay,
her.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And there does seem to be a tweeness to it, and there's a couple of people I went to school with that went on to be country singers. I know this is hilarious. People are going, "What? That just happens?" Yeah, yeah. You went to school and people became a doctor. I went to school and some people went on to become professional country singers. It's a thing that happens in both McBride's part of the world and my part of the world. Two counties very famous for country singing.
Here's
But
the thing, Tom. Now, and I hate to, when you're right. But yeah, I know a couple of boys that went on to be country singers as well. You don't seem to have to. How will I not throw anyone under the bus here now? You don't seem to have to be able to write your own songs.
oh,
Like
listen,
it seems to be perfectly all right to just do your favorite country songs from elsewhere.
Jerry, that is music the world over. But yeah, you're right with the country music thing.
That is true.
They seem to like I did the warm up, the crowd warm up for the Late Late Show for I did about a dozen of them, and I did the country
Yeah,
special
who
one.
books that, Tom? Get me that.
Yeah, you'd like that, man. You'd like that. In and out in 15 minutes. Thank you very much.
Yeah, yeah. I get
Um,
chips.
you get good sandwiches anyway, if nothing else. But I saw the country special, and there wasn't one original song there. Like, and no, it would
No.
seem that nobody wants an original song at all. They want stuff that they've heard already from many a year ago. Like one of the most famous ones that probably, in his version, broke the internet was, um, what's the name? Nathan Carter, fine singer. Wagon
Yeah,
Wheel, sure as
Wagon
shit,
Wheel.
is
Yeah.
not his song. Like, you
No,
know what
that's
I
a
mean?
Bob Dylan tune, isn't it?
I don't even know if it is. There's another chap that sings it and had it famous anyway in the 90s. I now could be. I wouldn't, and I'm sure I wouldn't imagine Dylan sings it like that. You
No,
know,
no, no. That's it. You just take and even if friend of the podcast Marty Moan here with Hit the Diff. If you look up Hit the Diff, there's some other chap called Richie Remus,
has had
Remus
a go at
Omo
it. Yeah,
has had a go at it, and you're watching it going like, but Richie, buddy,
it's
can
only
you?
just it's only just out, and he's
It's
only
only
just
just
up the
out. You
road.
couldn't write your own song there, pal. But
I think we drew Marty down on that actually, and he was like, "Ah, no, I don't mind." You know, it's like
yeah,
it's
well, I
grand.
know Marty's a nice chap, though.
Yeah,
I don't think he'd come on the podcast
I
and
don't
fuck
think it
Richie
falls.
Remus.
I don't think it's. I I don't think it's along the same lines as joke stealing. You know that kind of way. I
No,
think it's okay. It's an open season. If you're not making a ball of money off it and claiming it's yours, I guess so.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, now that it's definitely kind of opened the door, and I'm gonna I would if I can convince herself, and if there's something, there'd surely be something for the young fella to do in Nashville, wouldn't there?
Well, I will say this: like I don't know what's in Nashville, Tom. To be honest with you, there could be like all night knife fights for all I know, and it's no place to bring a child. But it seems nice.
Yeah.
I know in Gatlinburg it was you could sit out in a bar and sip moonshine. I did it and listen to bluegrass music all night long, and then next door there was crazy golf for the kids.
Okay.
Do you
Right.
know what I mean? And like two doors up, it's
Yeah.
like a Ripley's Believe It or Not. They are tourist places.
Again, I remember like I was poo pooing. I remember being at a rugby match one time. I said, Jesus Christ, they've gone, they've fireworks and they've cheerleaders now and everything. Why, who's not here for the sport? And I remember watching it was some baseball inside baseball stadium thing that they were just showing at this state of the art stadium. And all around the edge, they had like play zones for kids
Yeah.
and like hot tubs that adults could rent in front of 50,000, 60,000 people and sit in their hot tub and be served drinks on pitch side or whatever
Yeah.
it's called.
Jeez, I tell you
they,
one thing,
they don't miss they don't miss a trick. Like here, you go to the sports ground, which is a professional rugby pitch in Galway, and there's a dog track around the outside of it. It's just-
Yeah, is there
they
something
don't
for the children to do? Yeah, don't you worry.
yeah, get them betting on the dogs. Yeah, it'll be fine. But yeah, so I would definitely. I mean, I say it but almost every episode we come up with a place that the Tom and Jerry show should definitely go. I think Nashville would fit us very well. I'm
Well,
just
Tom,
saying.
I'm gonna ask you a question here now, okay, and then we can rock on with the rest of the show. Would you in Nashville take on with singing? Because I got to tell you, if you walk into Nashville, you got the mustache going on. I dare say you've got a bolo tie somewhere in your possession. If not, we'll get you one, right?
I'd say there's one in here. There's something with real tree camo that we could fashion into a tie, a bolo tie.
Now, and I've never heard you sing, right? But I've heard country music, and I'd say you're not that far off it.
I can fake it enough, Jer, that you'd go, can he sing? I'm not fully sure, but he knows all the words. And I can stay, if a singer, Jer, has this range, like an
Yeah,
actual, I have this range here. I can stay in, I know my lane, and I can just about stay in there with the odd song. You know what I mean? If it's not too high and it's not too low, I can kind of hide around in the middle, which is a complete cheat. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm not. I'm not really. I can't really sing, but I can fake it, if you know what I mean. People go, I think he can sing. But if an actual person who has an ear for it would go, he's fucking tone deaf. You know what I
Well, do you
mean?
know what
Like,
I'm going to tell you, Tom? That gives us about 12 months for me to learn how to play the keyboard. And the two of us
yeah.
rock up McBride and O'Mahony in Nashville.
Oh my God.
Huh?
Yeah.
Big Head and
Yeah.
the Bear.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be good.
We've done it again, Tom. I tell you, we're filling up the calendar with imaginary things we're going to do. We get out of
I
Liston and we head off to Nashville.
can you? I swear to God, I'm not saying we're going to get a record label, right? But I guarantee you we get a residency in some pub somewhere, because we'd have a bit of the owl patter as well, in between the songs. Like we'd be all right for the
Well, no,
patter.
I'll be managing you. I'll just be walking into a bar and I'll be like, "Well, my client over here decided that he wants to play in your bar tonight." And it's like, "Well, they can sing." I'll be like, "Can he sing, buddy? Look at him."
Now, let's sing Schming. What? Just look at him. He's the most
Come
country
over here
looking.
and feel his hands, sir. Look at the early arthritis on them knuckles. You're asking me, can he sing?
I love that to be like, say no more, sign him up. You know what I mean?
It's like
Without a bar being sung, just going, everything adds up for me.
everything. Yeah, yeah.
I'm not. Do you know what? I remember hearing from it was an agent it was a person who worked for an agency in Australia, booking comics and stuff like that. And I'm sure, I no doubt singers and actors as well, but they were talking about comedians and what they would look for, and being funny was like third or fourth.
Yeah. Oh,
It,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it was all about marketability. Like, are
Yeah.
you a certain demographic? Are you this, and this? And
Can we put you on a poster? Do you look good?
yeah, and will you slot into what we need right now? Because, oh, we already have an Irish guy. Sorry, or whatever. But then they got to the funny bit, and it was like, oh yeah, I mean, we can just cheat that. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? We'll just put
yeah.
we can just, yeah, we can crowbar you in places where,
Fairly certain
you
you
know,
wouldn't be here if you weren't at least assured of yourself.
and then it's the same thing with the music thing. They just rub my hands and go, well, by Jesus Christ, they feel like
Yeah.
about 60 grit. 60 grit, his mustache.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
his mustache talks for himself. And Christ Almighty, I mean, he walks in here like he's walking through mud. He's got that walk. So
You just have a mic cable, Tom, going like, where do I plug this in? I'm just like, right over there, sir.
and you're there in
Well,
your white colonel suit, like with your
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I'll be like,
You're the colonel. Colonel McBride is a great name to it.
Colonel
Actually,
McBride and the cigar on the whole. I'll be like, nah, you this my. I don't know why I'm doing the accent. The selling point is that we're not American, but here we
yeah,
are.
yeah.
Are we off the mark on Nashville, ladies and gentlemen? Will it chew us up and spit us out, or is it the perfect place for Tom and Jerry to head? You can let us know in the comments. But for now, Tom, let's motor on with the rest of the show because this next segment, I've been waiting to get on to this.
Oh my God, yeah.
All right, this one, lads, guys, ladies and gentlemen of the Tom and Jerry listenership. Uh, we've had some lads in the This Lad segment, right? We've had some people that have been like, this lads. But I swear to God, this lad might be the this lad of all this lads. So, Tom, let's talk about him in a segment where we discuss the lad of the week. This lad.
Now there's that guy.
Do you know what? It has to be the greatest this lad, because I've been messaged twice. My wife sent me this for the show, and at least 3 times I've gotten it off people who listen to the show. And then you sent it to me. It was like, Jesus Christ, at what point am I actually going to send this and speak to Jerry about this guy? Because it seemed to catch me at every time. You know, when you're about to do something else and you went, and you put the phone down, I will definitely this. And Jesus Christ, I'm so glad that you came across it, because I almost missed sending it to you.
Every time I see it, Tom, I have to read it again. I'm like, wait,
Unbelievable. Like,
what? Yeah, catch the people up here so that we can really get into this, Tom.
Okay, so a man has been arrested here, and he's after getting 6 months. I don't know if it's suspended or full on in Montana. Fine state if you follow
Yes, indeed.
Yellowstone. Lovely looking spot. Essentially, what he did was,
Montana, home of Evil Knievel for long-term listeners.
there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. So he's been sentenced to 6 months in prison. So it would seem it's not going to be suspended. I'm sure he'll,
It's not Ireland, Tom, so he has to serve his time.
I don't fully know, because I would wager that we can get into it, but
Let's get into it, Tom, because they had to look up something to charge this man with. Jesus Christ.
So his name is Arthur Schubert, 81 now. 81.
Yes.
He essentially got 6 months for cloning a giant 135 kilo trophy sheep. No, and there's one in particular that it was the Exhibit A in court, and it was a guy called they nicknamed him Montana Mountain King. So essentially, Arthur, 81, he
Yes.
illegally imported parts of the of the world's largest species of sheep from Kyrgyzstan, mountainy region, formerly of
Yes.
the Soviet Union. A lot of lads with beards living around there. Tough place to grow up. Sheep are hardy. Uh,
Yes.
and he
Tough place
got,
for anybody, let alone a sheep.
to be fair, you gotta come out swinging if you're going to be a
Yes.
Kyrgyzstan sheep. And he used that to create cloned embryos. God bless America. Where does a private man, you and I, Jer, if we wanted to clone anything, it's an impossibility unless we got somebody on the inside of some state-of-the-art lab. This fella went down to his 7-Eleven and right next door, there's a fucking cloning shop of
Can I
some
get the
sort.
Jurassic Park machine there, please?
So the resultant embryos he implanted in ewes in his Montana ranch, which resulted in a genetically poor or pure Marco Polo argali. So this was a spot on, what we deemed an all right one, going okay there. An endangered species that can weigh up to 135 with horns 1.5 meters wide. That jar for our imperial listeners is 5 foot, five
Yes.
foot wide horns.
Yes.
135 clicks. 16 stone is 100. 25 is 20. So it's a
70 pounds, yeah.
a 22 stone sheep that
Yes.
has 5 foot wide horns.
Yes.
This
And
is
Tom, to
straight
what
out of
end? Why
hell.
was he doing these things? Why was he cloning these massive sheep?
It was to put him out on hunting ranches, to put him out on ranches because Montana's huge. There's mountains, there's open
Yes.
fields and all the rest of it. He was to put him out, and I guess you'd market him to hunters who had never shot such a thing and would go, I will pay you 50 grand to go out and shoot one of them yokes. And he was thinking, oh, class, we're quids in. Do you know, let's assume he's probably about 1.5 million in for bringing over the parts of the sheep. And then, you see, he didn't stop there, right? He then used semen from that sheep and impregnated various, he went mad. He started playing God. Arthur started playing God and he started impregnating big old sheep that he already had.
Not by himself, though.
No, I wouldn't. Well, no.
As in to say he wasn't impregnating the sheep himself.
No, well, he was taking I don't know how he was getting the semen off the new lad that he had, the Marco Polo, a guy like the bear of it.
There's an old-fashioned way, Tom, that's fairly effective.
It was, yeah, okay, he was pulling off sheep, I'm guessing, into an old Coke bottle or what he was fucking doing. But he wasn't happy with 135 clicks. He wanted to make some sort of yoke that they would make a B-rated movie about that attacked a town. He wants to make a 200 kilo sheep, I'm guessing.
In essence, he's making these Resident Evil sheep to let out on a ranch to play the deadliest game, which is hunting.
Yeah. And bad enough, they were like, okay, Jesus Christ. Now you want to make a monster. So essentially what the court came out and said was, look, yeah, it's un-Montanian is what they said. So he's carrying on like this. It's not the kind it would definitely be like, his actions threatened Montana's native wildlife species because, of course, he did. That yoke decides, I'm having this patch, by the way. And the regular mountain goat or mountain sheep that's there, say he's a big whore and he's still only 100. This yoke could be 200 kilos by the time old Arthur was.
200 kilos of raw, uncut muscle.
With a Kyrgyzstan attitude, probably had a beard and everything.
With 5 foot wide antlers and a nice, fuzzy, warm, sheepy fleece.
So it's actually like, this is the thing, this has gone on before to the point that they actually had to make an act, like a breeding act.
So this is okay. So it wasn't like, what the hell are we going to charge this man with? Because I'm not seeing a crime here, Tom.
So they're called undulates, like anything that can go up and down a hill, anything that can go up and down a mountain.
Okay. I've seen that.
Mountain, yeah.
I knew, but some listeners here probably might.
This act is called the Lacey Act. So it's actually a thing. Hop on, like, you don't be like.
You're in violation of the Lacey Act.
So it would seem
creating these fucking biohazard sheep.
Exactly. So lads were at this enough. Like you go, Jesus Christ, we've never seen the like of this. No, it would seem, at least in Montana anyway, because apparently there's more billionaires per square meter in Montana than there is anywhere in the world. Like, because there's such fruitful land there or
They're
whatever.
they're
And
savvy. I mean, they're making all this mutant sheep money.
yeah, but sure, I
And you
mean,
tell me like this wasn't the first time this ever happened. So like the Montana law enforcement that rock up to this dude's ranch and get penned into their cars with a massive sheep that's like goring up the side of the state patrol car, and they're just looking at it going like, "Oh, this shit again."
yeah, literally to the point that they had to bring in. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
It's a
whoa, whoa.
157. It's another massive sheep.
Yeah,
Rather than, you know,
somebody. Yeah, they're not thumbing through the book of going, "I fucking 157. What's it?" No, they know it by heart
they
at
know
this
what
stage.
it
They're like,
is.
this shit goes down a lot. Montana's a fucking huge. You don't have to see your neighbor at all. You might have to chop her over to your neighbor's place. So I guarantee you, lads have been at this for yonks. And this fella might have still been at it for a while. This might be, I don't know, this might be high, like this might be the number, number 4. He might have gotten to this point. Like to have the moolah and like, hello, Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan is
Send me your angriest sheep.
it's a known mad spot. Do you know what I mean? Like,
So like
hello, big success, hello, big time. You know what I mean? This is where we're going.
Montana needs the sheep.
They're two, they're
Uh,
two, they're two, their two exports are mad sheep semen and plutonium. Do you know these are the things that these?
Put your hands together, buddy. Like okay, so what this chap was doing, this is like I'm not going to say this is something like this is actually Batman villain stuff. Like
Oh,
this is exactly what Poison Ivy used to do. She used to breed plants together to make like the world's most poisonous plant or the world's most snappingest thing.
and
And
that
he's breeding and crossbreeding to get the world's deadliest sheep with the intention that he can sell $50,000 tickets to guys that want to go out and bow hunt these bastards.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I guarantee, like, if at least Poison Ivy, her shit stayed where it was, that sheep can come down to your house and go, I'm taking your car. You're like, absolutely, like you call that sheep sir when you see it. Like, do you
Oh,
know?
like there's no chasing this man down. He's like the Rambo of sheep. It's like, oh, we got him now. There's mountains all around him. No, that's where he thrives.
Yeah,
That's where it's in his DNA to climb mountains.
literally, he's called an ungulate. For anybody wondering where did that word come from? To look at a lumpy piece of ground, you go, that terrain is undulating. In other words, it goes up and down. It's in his feet, his head, and now he's got a like a Mitsubishi Pajero bull bars growing
Yes.
out of his head. Like if they're 5 foot wide, they've got to be thickness. They probably got to be about like a Wavin pipe curled
It's
on
like
the side of his head.
he's got horns as thick as a freaking Pringles can
Yeah,
coming at you, baby.
yeah, and I mean they smash for a living. That's what they do. They smash into each other like that thing. If it turns on you, you're like, all right, you can have the gun. You have the gun and chase me. How's that?
Yeah.
Nope, don't need it. I can run as fast as a racehorse up the side of a mountain after you. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make this fun. Do you know?
You know, you're there like I got okay, I got him. I hit him with a headshot. Oh, brilliant. You shot him in the thickest, hardest part of his body. You
You've just
shot nothing, pal. He's
you've
still
just
coming.
annoyed him. You just
Yeah.
annoyed him.
You
And
just vexed him.
whatever about the hunting of and all the rest of it, I mean, there's plenty for him to eat, no doubt. It's the other lads wandering around, the other poor old sheep who were just a
Oh, just a
ringer.
regular Shaun the Sheep sized sheep.
There he is sitting knitting his own fleece in the corner of some field in Montana, and all of a sudden, sheep Brutus steps through like with
Yeah.
chest muscles. Do you know? Like
Yeah, the
he's
end
got
of level
veins on his
boss
legs.
of sheep comes at you.
Yeah,
Like okay, so then and our little sheep is just there. He's about the size of 2 Henry Hoovers together, like you know, just a regular sheep. He's just
yeah.
not a bother on him. And this thing just literally comes and like tramples him into the ground, all while searching for the foolish millionaire who's out here with a Bowie knife and like commando stripes on his face,
Yeah.
thinking that he's going to take this guy down.
You're
Again, not seeing a crime here, Tom.
to be. You see, here's the thing.
I know
think,
it's not man's place to play God, but like,
I think his mistake was getting caught. I guarantee you, this is that Carry On is going. Listen, Jer, there are more tigers in Texas than there are in the whole world. out in the wild.
need
Americans,
to. I'm gonna need to pull up citation on that, Tom. I've got a policy about not just
I'm
believing everything that's told me.
I'm telling you. But sure, they're mad. This is the thing. They're fucking mad in America. They'll just do, if you have enough yardage around you, you're going, is anybody looking? Nah, I'm going to get a 200 kilo sheep going and I'm going to have a tiger as well. Sure,
Fair enough.
who'll say
Fair
it to
enough.
me? I
Fair
just
enough,
think
Tom.
they're
A
fucking
good point,
mad.
well made.
And I know I know I say it every episode. America's mad. The fact that this fella, like he didn't go out on a whim. You buy a Renault Scenic chair, sight unseen sometimes because you just need
Yeah.
a fucking car, right? Been there. But by Jesus Christ, you don't send off to Kyrgyzstan for bits of a sheep that you need to clone and then start jacking off said sheep, new sheep, when you make a monster. Did you want to make another monster because you found another big sheep to do at home? This isn't something he was doing on Tuesday evenings after going to the driving range. This motherfucker had literally that time on his hands and that kind of moolah, and I guarantee he already had a gang of lads going, "You make that yoke and let's set it free. I'll pay you a ball of money just to shoot one."
Just to shoot it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Tom, like, because, like, we're from a rural background, so the idea that you would buy expensive bull semen and put it in your finest cow and have fine calves and sell them at market is not new to anybody.
No.
That's where that's where your beef comes from, I'm sorry to say. But the fact that he was doing all this to create like the ultimate killer so that you could then go out and hunt it makes me ask one question, Tom.
Go on.
One question alone, okay? Why'd he stop there? What else could he have done to make this a more vicious killer? Like, could he have thrown in a little, could he have gotten some like rattlesnake teeth or something in it? Or like some sort of venomous claws? I mean, like, in
I
for a
think-
penny, right?
I think you're going to have to go with something in the area, and definitely snakes or bears. I think
Yes.
a sheep bear would be hilarious. Can you
A
imagine
sheep bear. Why didn't you throw
can
a
you
little bit of bear in there?
Imagine a bear with 5 foot curly horns growing off the side of his head, and yet he can run up the side of the mountain like a mountain goat. He can actually, like those fellas, those ibexes that can actually sit on the side of a cliff.
Yeah. That's
Imagine that's a bear.
That's who I've
doing
got in my
that.
head.
A bear doing that. Jesus.
Yeah.
Like,
Because we got this chap in Montana, this John Hammond type that's just out here playing God. Make it fly. Like,
oh yeah.
hey, eagle wings or something.
100%. Like, absolutely bald eagle wings sticking out the side of it. Now it's death from above.
Do you think? Do you think when the cops raided his? I'm only assuming, Tom, that he has a compound. I mean, you didn't say that, but I'm just everything about this just screams compound.
He's not doing this out of the boot of his insignia, if you know what I mean. Like he's.
Do you reckon when the raid is right, and so they've got like he's got these bebop and rock steady looking sheep here, just like smashing into everything. Do you reckon they go into the barn and there's all the ones that didn't quite make it?
That's
and they're all like
that's what I'm saying. He's at this away. This might be
kill me.
This might be phase.
Please, I am an abomination to God.
I have no thumbs to pull the trigger.
Yeah, help me. Oh shit, we got a 158 in here.
All the ones that he tried, all the ones he just went down the route of like hybrids that you thought, like ones with gills and stuff, like sheep, sheep that can go underwater, but unfortunately their fleece just fills up, like, and he can't work it out. He's like, good God, like there's going to be
he should have been doing that as well, Tom. I mean, like, it's one thing. Okay, so if you're paying 50 grand to hunt a sheep, right? Fair enough. But like on top of what science can give him in terms of cloning an animal and, messing around with genetics to make it go higher, further, faster, baby. Like he should have been like you with your conkers. He should have been varnishing that thing.
Yeah. I would have given it knives for feet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
just like put like spikes and shit on them, like the Legion of Doom,
Yeah.
Just armor plate them, and just be like, get out there, boy.
This sounds like a Black Mirror episode more than anything else. Like
we're adding nothing to it. Like we're adding tiny little bits of crazy on the top of it. The crazy was all there to begin with.
If it's a brand new product, right? He's come up with it. Say he's made this Marco Polo yoke, but then he crosses it with some absolute beast here, and it's like, I don't want the name sheep in there. I don't want to be hunting a sheep.
Oh no, this stopped
That's
being a sheep a while ago.
yeah, exactly. I want a new name. Like, something with an X in it. Like I want
Yeah.
something like, oh, you're gonna fight, like I know it's for cold sores, but I want to shoot a Zavirax. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to shoot an Indominus Rex
Oh, and then
of
yeah,
sheep.
yes, a sheep Dominus Rex.
Yeah, Sheep Dominus Rex. Look at that. And I cannot stress enough, Tom. Like this guy is this lad 5 times over, but like the icing on the top of it, the cherry on the top of it. We mentioned it already, and the story's not crazy. We just had to kind of blow past it. This lad is
I
81
know.
years of age.
Yeah.
This is like some little pawpaw.
Do you know
It's
what?
like, with the grandkids on his lap.
It's
He's married
inspirational.
to the fucking pioneer woman. She's at home making grits and chitlins, and
She
he's
puts
down
this.
here.
His wife puts pies out on the windowsill to cool down. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like there's,
and they get knocked off by the thundering hoof steps of a nearby monster sheep.
but it's inspirational. I won't get into the names and the whatchamacallit because it is an Irish company. But there was a gentleman a couple of years ago, and they have a snack company, shall we say? Um,
Yes.
and he was the grandfather and the founder of it, and they're still a very successful company to this day. But he had realized what way the wind was blowing and had found himself a little greenhouse up the top of their many, many 100-acre farm and started experimenting with uh, cross-pollinating marijuana. Not for his
Ah,
own,
yes.
he saw it coming. He went,
Yeah.
this is the way it's going medicinally and stuff. I'd like to be at the cutting edge. But the guy was in his 80s. Now, I think the family maybe threw him under the bus and maybe accepted, I'll go under the bus for us because I want the company to stay strong. But
Yes.
but the amount, when I read in the comments, the amount of people are like, this guy's a legend. Who
Yeah.
who in their 80s is thinking about the next phase of creativity when it comes to like hybriding plants and stuff? Like, and
You just
everybody,
know, Tom, he's in his jail cell right now for 6 months, just scrawling on the walls, like, I can make it kill faster.
well, he didn't
He's
then.
coming back to the courthouse with a flock of sheep, just gonna come mill through the whole thing.
Oh, he'll be like Jared Butler in that that movie where he come back and got everyone intricate plans of how the sheep are. There's going to be a sheep turn up behind Jamie Foxx, a Jamie Foxx-esque solicitor, and just put his hoof over his mouth and just go to sleep, and
Go to
just
sleep.
a quick blade across, no, a quick sharpened horn
Yeah, a
across the
sharpened
throat.
horn. They're just gonna turn around and appear out of nowhere, and the over the cops' radios like they can cloak. They've got cloaking devices.
Woolen cloak. That's
They don't
hilarious.
show up on the thermal. Yeah, they're sheep. They got wool all over them.
Jesus Christ. And all of a sudden, a spider sheep comes in across the ceiling. But in addition to his prison
Oh my
sentence of
Lord.
6 months, Arthur got ordered to pay, listen, pocket change, 20 grand fine to the Lacey Act Reward Fund, a 4 grand payment to the National Fish and Wildlife, and wait, Jesus Christ, the man I say lights his cigarettes with, and a $200 special assessment fine.
Eh,
These
Tom,
are,
I would pay twice the fine to have half the sheep.
now you're talking. Now you're talking. He obviously knew the dangers and still drove on regardless. So,
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Uh
oh my God.
Jesus Christ. There you go.
I'm
This lad for the week. That might be this lad of the year. Uh no doubts about it. No cause for argument. No cause for a row, Tom.
No cause for a row, but I suppose if we're getting into something, that was a happy moment there, I think. But if you're getting into something, we may as well have a row, Jer.
We may as well have a row.
My attitude is, don't start nothing, won't be nothing.
You're a seasoned veteran at this, and I don't know how much rowing we're gonna do, but I think we're gonna just shake our fist at the world.
Sometimes when it's a row, it's me and Tom having a row against each other, and sometimes it's just kind of throwing it open to the world to get your opinion on it because we're fairly certain where we land. It's beginning to look a lot like a certain time of year, Tom.
It is.
And as such, you might be thinking what presents to get the kids and whatnot, and you may fall across this product. And I would like to know your opinion on it, Tom. Very popular, shows up on a lot of Santa lists, shows up on a lot of gift ideas lists. It's a product called Lego.
Lego, we frequent Owl Smiths anytime, and thank Christ, there's like it swings so hard in two different directions. Like you're going, gee, that's a reasonably priced gorilla that he's after there. That's that's a lot of gorilla, or that's a lot of strange looking dinosaur with a big old. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually very affordable. That's not too expensive. What's that you're pointing at, son? Oh, there's a Jurassic Park version, but it's in Lego form. Oh, that's €900. We might actually not, dip back into the mortgage for that. What in the name of all of this whole? And what can we do with it? You like one tip and the shit falls apart. I'm like, what? I'm
This
not
is this is where Lego falls apart. Now we are children
literally.
of the 80s, Tom. We grew up with Lego.
Yeah,
There was always some breed of stick together block in the house, whether it
yeah,
was actual branded Lego or not. I would sincerely doubt it ever was. But you know what I'm gonna tell you? You could make whatever the hell you wanted with it, right?
yeah.
And I'll tell you another thing, as you so wisely pointed out, it wasn't more expensive than the car.
No, 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 no. But I never. There was never a crib that it was an awful price. I remember I quickly got into Meccano after that. Like I hadn't a lot of time for Lego. It was grand. We had kind of the sheet of plastic, Lego base,
Yeah,
and
and
you
you
could
could make little gardens and
big
things.
houses and all the rest. But you could also make swords with Meccano. So I'm just saying.
You
But
could make throwing stars with Meccano. You could
yeah,
sharpen it. Yeah.
yeah. So horses for courses. But what's blown me away is that everybody's trying to get on it. I mean, if it isn't, you can buy a Ford Mondeo out of Lego now. You're like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, tone it down, will you? Like, where are we going with this? Like,
It used to be like, you bought Lego and you made a Lego house or a Lego
yeah,
fire
with the
engine or a
various
Lego.
shaped bricks,
Yes.
the six knobby one, the four knobby one, or the two knobby one, and a
Yeah.
few long ones, and you're off to the
And away you
races.
go.
Yeah,
Whereas now it's like, oh, you want to make and I can get that. I can get like the toys of it, Tom. Like you want to make Spider-Man's house, or you want to make, you know, Doctor Strange's spaceship, or whatever the hell it would be. But I saw a set that was like €250, and it was a bunch of flowers.
what?
It was like a bunch of flowers.
To be fair, I'd steer himself away from that Outscutter as quickly as I can because I know what'll happen with it. With like any Lego that's coming around the place, he loves it. He loves building all things and all the rest of it. But Jesus Christ, he's a young fella. We're moving at the minute, and
Yes.
half the property was full of bits of Lego down the back of the sofa,
Yeah.
underneath the leg of the table. Jesus Christ, it went everywhere. It
And
went
what
everywhere.
does this go with, and what is it of?
And if it's a theme thing, like it's unlike the bucket that you get before, was just a bucket of
A
all of the
mixed and
blocks.
gathered of stuff. Yeah.
If you got, which I've been plagued with, the fucking Jurassic Park stuff. If you lose the wheel, that's it
That's
gone.
it.
The
Yeah.
whole thing, throw it in the fire. It's
Yeah.
good for nothing at that stage. You're
Everything is so specific. No, yeah, I'm with you on this one, Tom, and I'm willing to hear arguments from our listenership about it. Here's the thing I gotta ask you. I gotta ask you a question straight up, okay?
ah,
Is Lego a toy? Or is it more like a puzzle, like a jigsaw?
geez, that's a good. Well, I suppose if it's got the picture, it was a toy when it was in the bucket, and you make what you want to
And
make.
you make what you want, yes.
But when
I
they,
remember, Tom, my fond memories of making a big Starship Enterprise out of mixed them, gathered them a Lego, and half of it was green and half of it was blue.
oh
But
yeah, yeah, you two
I
yolks,
loved that
you
sweating.
two, yeah, you two tails sticking out the back, and now square bit for the big lid.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
but
then I was running down the hall at warp speed one day, and there was not two bits of Lego left stuck together, Tom. She disintegrated.
but that's exactly what is supposed to happen. But then
Yeah.
we had a neighbor.
Klingons, Tom.
I know.
Klingons got it.
Klingons at any, you get them later in life if you're not careful, if you don't
Yeah.
keep a good roughage in your diet. Like, but look at that's your own business, and we're not a
I was
medical
I was
podcast.
I was 26 at the time.
Uh, running around your own house, literally a house you owned, you're running around. Wee! Nobody can stop me. We got invited to neighbours of ours, and the same chap, I won't name him, because he's an actor on television, which I was very surprised to see the other day. I was like, oh, he's in that. And we got brought in to his study to show us with pride his fucking, I don't know, Star Wars or Star Wars collection of Lego put together yokes. And
Right.
he had countless and had built shelves.
Yeah.
The same fella probably, he'd look for the on switch and a hammer. So I was looking at the shelf going, fair play. I mean, they're dog shit, but you know what I mean? Fair play. You got him up there.
But like what have you done here? Like, you can't take it down and like play with it and
No,
mess around or anything like that. Because as you said already, Tom, the thing will fall apart in your hands
but and also it's not as good as if a toy manufacturer poured that plastic and made
and
an
made it.
actual copy. There's edgy bits all over. I can clearly see gaps. That looks like it's made from bits of Lego. So
Yeah, and
that's
not for nothing as well, Tom. I'll tell you, an absolute dust catcher.
oh, that was the first thing into my head.
Yeah,
That shit like will just be riddled in dust in no
not
time
a
at all.
smooth surface on it.
Oh, sure, listen, he had a small, like, he loved him so much. He had a small Hoover and everything. What the fuck? I was like, and
Okay,
you know, when
I
somebody's
didn't know
showing
that
you
was a
something,
thing.
yeah, yeah. You know, when somebody's showing you something that you're so deeply unimpressed with that you're actually horrified is the wrong word, but I was just disgruntled by it that a grown man would be at this shit. I was like,
Yeah,
I get you wanting to, like, I would want to, for me, just like a jigsaw, I'd smash that back up and put it back in the box and it wouldn't come out till
do
Christmas
you know,
again.
like
And we'll
that's the
all make it
question
again.
now.
We'll
Yeah,
all make it again. Well, now
when
you're
you
put,
when you when you finish a jigsaw, what do you do with it? Do you like frame it and put it up like a nice picture, or do you smash it up and put it back in the box? Like
you
what are we
smash it up and
doing
put it
here,
back
Tom?
in the box because you didn't make that picture. That
Yeah,
was made in a factory in Taiwan and
yeah,
somebody cut it up into jigsaw shapes and all you did was put it back together. You haven't created anything.
yeah. I get
You've
you. I
just
get you.
solved a puzzle. Same with the starship. What did they call what's the famous one that from Star Wars?
The Millennium
The
Falcon.
Millennium Falcon. No wings on it, by the way, so I don't know where it got the Falcon name. You see this thing, I'm going, would you not just break it up and take it out and try and put it back together again? Like, it's not a toy now. And you
Yeah,
have,
yeah.
and
It's
it's
a
also,
showpiece,
and it's a shit showpiece. Like, there's edgy bits, there's old fucking gaps in it. Like,
and you paid €500 for it.
that's, I was walking past Mixon when I was looking at said Indominus Rex or whatever it was he wanted that day. I was like, jeez, he's reasonable enough the price. He's €28. I like that. That's all right. That's if you
Yeah,
want that for your birthday, son, then yeah, that's I can afford that. What is that shit beside me? And there was two like
mm.
grown ass men creeping me out. The two grown ass men were walking around the toy shop. I won't lie, with no children in tow, and they're just going, "I got this one, and this is the one with the rent stripe edition." I'm like, "Oh fuck, oh
Here's the other thing I'm gonna tell you about Lego, right? And if you like Lego, let us know in the comments. I like Lego just fine, but like, you know, I don't know. Anytime the kids get it in the house, I end up building it, Tom. That sort of way, but that's
yeah,
okay.
yeah."
Uh, you get an instruction book about the size of the old phone books, the size of the old telephone directories. You get a book like that with the Lego that shows you in no uncertain terms, step by goddamn step, how to put this thing together.
Yeah.
Okay? So what am I doing here? You've just given me a job in a factory.
Now you're talking. Sorry. I'm to do it now. Is it? All
No, no,
right. Right.
oh yeah, you're handing it over to me. Oh, well done.
Thanks very
It's
much.
it's 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 like if you were just to drop 1,000 pieces of um grey plastic in front of me and say, "There's a Millennium Falcon in there. If you're smart enough to figure it out and put it together, you're on your own, buddy." All right, okay, I see it now. That's a challenge. That's a.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
I got to lay this all
Yeah.
out and I got to figure it out. But no, it's just like, okay, look for a four by two. Okay, now look for a clear piece. Okay, I have that. Put that together, right? And I did that. And then sometime later in the day or further into the week, if you're busy, you'll have a train.
So you're to be applauding yourself for actually just being able to follow the words in a book.
Yeah,
Jesus. Yeah. Now
or
that you
follow the
point.
pictures I put together. It's like putting together IKEA furniture,
Do you know what? It's come to me
which I don't
actually.
mind doing, to be honest with you.
Look, yeah. It is what it
Because you
is.
can
Like,
kit out the house in IKEA furniture for about the price of the Simpsons house in Lego.
do you know what's hilarious right now? But you can't see it, people. But your version of or whatever's happened to Zoom, two times you've stuck a thumbs up while counting a number, while making a point, and the screen has actually done a bubble, like with a thumb emoji beside it. And of course, it's not doing it now that you asked to do it. But you're
Not doing it
100%.
now.
You make a really valid point, and it has come to me. It has just come back to me. We have gotten this question more than once, actually. Do you know that we've
Yes.
actually gotten this from parents that listen to the podcast? What do you make of the price of Lego and what, like,
I'm against it, Tom. I'm gonna come down. I'm gonna come. If you're curious about what I think about the price of Lego, I think it's too dear.
It's madness. It's
Oh,
absolute
you're
madness.
just going to jump off the fence on that one.
For a yoke that doesn't quite end up as, it should look. It's like, oh, that's a good representation of what you were going for. But look over there. They've made one for half the price that looks exactly like it did in the movie.
And you can smack it against the wall. You can drop kick it up the field.
I can go flying down the hall with that, and nobody's going to piss their pants. Like, what? No. And do you know what? But it's like so many of these things. Like it almost it borderlines its own version of a religion when people are into things so heavily. They become anorexic, and they're like, "Are you talking against Lego?" Yeah. What? Just take it for its base by base places. It's just a thing. Like,
I'm gonna soften up on it now and tell you this much now. Lego, a good toy. If you just get a mixed and gathering bucket of it and you make whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
And it's an eighth of the price that it currently is. How about that?
Yeah. The prices.
We haven't even talked about standing on the bathtub and stuff.
I know that. Yeah.
I think that's fairly hacky now. All right.
To be fair,
still on Lego. Okay.
It's
I've done it maybe 3 times in my life.
But it had to be mentioned for our listeners. It had to be mentioned. Comedians, you try not to plow over ground that people have already gone over, and that is, that's a mainstay up there with Ryanair food or Ryanair.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing now. I'm gonna cut it down at this time. Do you know standing on Lego in bare feet is sore? Do you know what else is sore when you stand on bare feet?
Huh.
Everything, literally everything, Tom.
Everything. Car keys, everything.
Whatever you got, if you stand on bare feet, it's not going to be nice.
An
Folks,
upturned plug.
Are we like off the reservation when it comes to Lego here? Let us know in the comments. Defend your favorite pastime. Defend your Lego. Are we in with us? What's your thoughts? What have you ever built? Let us know on the social medias. And where can you find them? You can find them here at Tom and Jerry Show. Jerry with a G, Tom with a T, don't you know? That'll get you pretty much anywhere, on Twitter, on Instagram. Or if you just want to go at one of us specifically, I'm at Jerry McBride. He's at Tom_O'Mahony. You'll get us there. But we've enough followers. Follow the main account.
Yeah, exactly. And look, if it's your first time listening, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. We're back every single week. And you're going, Jesus Christ, I've gotten a couple of messages this week from new people, and they're like, Christ, you've a ton of stuff back the way. You have. Go on away back and have an old gander for yourself if this is your bag. Hit the subscribe button and do hit the bell or whatever icon if you're mostly going to be listening on Spotify. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, I'm not sure what the icon is for making it a favorite or so that you know it turns up in your phone every single Thursday. And if you would hit, you can leave comments now. I see there's a comment bar. You can leave comments. So do leave a comment on whatever platform you're listening to. And in case we miss it, would you screen grab and just tag us? Most likely on Instagram. Yeah. It's a better one. We'll see it on Instagram that way. Let us know what you're doing. Maybe splice it with like what you're doing if you're halfway up a tree or something. Who knows? Or you're on your way to Nashville. Or you're on your way to go hunt a giant sheep in Montana.
Or a giant sheep in Montana is hunting you.
Or you're building a giant sheep in Montana. Giant sheep out of Lego while on your way to Nashville. I mean,
I gotta tell you, like, for all that we've said about it, it actually does sound like a nice way to spend an afternoon, is just putting together a big load of Lego listening to the Tom and Jerry Show.
Be all right.
Until they tell you that Lego's no good and you just like, you're right, fuck this stuff. And you just shut in the bin there and then sight unseen. God, I'm wasting my life.
Oh my God.
I got sheep to hunt.
Oh my God.
All right, Tom. A pleasure as always.
Look.